Welcome back, guys, to the final video from the potentially last beta test of Dragon Ball Project Multi. What can I say about this game, man? This was absolutely the best experience that I've had in the past maybe 7 years with a Dragon Ball game that I was hooked, man. I could not stop playing the game. It was super fun meeting all the people that we met through the community, such as Tax, Meliodas, Fish, Davey, like all the other people that we met Unusable. Eatern, like these people were just so amazing to play with and get to know and just kind of get that community going with them in the Project Multi Discord, and just overall get closer to some of the people that we didn't meet through Project Multi, met through Legends like ZDG, but we just clicked on that Project Multi, man, and it was just an absolutely amazing experience. I cannot wait for the full game to come out to continue doing it. Hopefully they fix some of the legendary bugs, such as the freaking controller bug that plagued us the last 3 days of the beta. God, I hated that, man. I hated that. The way I wanted to say goodbye to Project Multi is to go over some of the changes I'd like to see when the full game comes out. If you guys have any thoughts, make sure you leave them down in the comment below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. With that being said, grab your senzu beans, and let's wish that we get some news about the release of Project Multi really soon, hopefully early 2025. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start off with little introductions. Obviously we have myself. I finished rank 2 on the overall beta, top 5 on all the different roles. You guys know me, you guys saw the grind. We have our friend Bedside Fish here. You can go ahead and get a little introduction for him.
I play this game too much and have a brain, so I'm obviously smarter than everyone here, including Aizen, that says he's number 1, but the real number 1's right here in this VOD. Okay. Yeah.
All right, now we can go to get an introduction from Melly.
Yeah, I grinded this game for about 120 hours nonstop. I'm Brainless Trunks main who ended in 6th place.
Worse than me, by the way. Anyways, let's get into Davey.
I basically just first entered the game with a other team, but then I entered Aizen's grind as Krillin and ended the game as top 2 technical.
Let's go ahead and start off with something easy that I think everybody would have some thoughts on: the bugs.
Which ones?
Yeah.
Which ones are the bugs?
Well, yeah, which one?
What was your guys' least favorite bug out of the
All
beta?
of them.
That's a hard one.
The party bug.
By far,
Yeah.
by far the worst impacting
Okay,
bug.
actually, the party bug or the controller bug?
By far the worst impacting bug that will mess your game up entirely was bosses disappearing. It was rare, but it did happen. It happened to Aizen one time too. I don't think you noticed. Hey, you did notice, so he just ignored it because it only happened to him probably once. It's happened.
Yeah, it only happened to me once. It was on the final day. So I definitely agree with you. That is a game-changing bug where you literally can't see Ape. I don't know any time where somebody's entire team got hit by that bug. However, the fact that even one person's getting hit by it is insane, and that's definitely something that needs to be fixed before either the next beta or the full game comes out. Controller bug is another one that should not be happening at all. And the party bug especially, man. The whole point of the game is to play with your friends and have fun with them. So the party bug, hopefully when the full game comes out and the next beta comes out, parties are not an issue. Because if you can't play with your friends, what are you really doing on Project Multi, you know?
For real.
Grinding solo, bro.
I think a really big bug was the controller bug, where it would just automatically connect to your controller, whether you had or in some people's cases didn't even own a controller.
Yeah, I definitely think that bug was really bad. However, at least that one you could solve by just relogging into the game.
Yeah, but
it definitely puts you a step behind the opponent, but it could always be worse.
The problem with that is you lose a lot of time.
Yeah, but it's not unplayable.
Yeah.
Some of the other bugs kind of do make the game unplayable.
You lose a match. The opponents get a there quickly.
Yeah, my whole team got that glitch, by the way. I had that glitch on myself 5 times. Brienne was invisible. Nappa's been invisible for me. Ape has been invisible for my whole entire team. We couldn't even take it. You can't even hit it, by the way. It doesn't do damage. It's like it's not there.
Davey, any thoughts on that?
Sanity.
Any specific bugs for you, Davey?
I actually was quite lucky with my experience. I didn't really encounter any like real game-breaking bugs.
Yeah, me neither.
Must be nice.
Bug I never encountered the controller bug, the boss bug. The main bug that I encountered obviously was like the party bug, the friend menu, that sort of stuff. And quite often on the final day was a screen rendering error where only half the screen was rendered properly.
Oh yeah, on your Kill and Victory screen, correct? It was half the Dragon Ball, half
Only half the screen was rendered, and then like for the right side, the enemies were rendered. But then if they went on the left side of my screen, they unrendered, and you could only see the shadows of players.
Let's go ahead and get into something a little juicier, the characters. What characters would you guys like to see nerfed, buffed, or adjusted?
Ooh.
Let's start with Fish.
Nerf or adjusted? That's a hard one. I think all the characters are a good place right now, to be honest. What makes a character strong is cards, and I think there is a little amount of cards in the game to really say, oh, let's make nerfs to characters. There's barely any way to affect character resistance, character healing. There's barely any hard stat booster in the game besides all attack and defense and cooldowns. There's only 3 of those in the game. There's only like one that does it constantly while you being hit.
I think the only thing that really
plays because if you go in the game, you don't see a character and be like, all right, we're losing the game, boys.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think the only thing that needs to be changed is maybe change balance of retaliation a little bit more, because it is kind of overtuned. And 18.
Davey?
Once again, I agree with basically what's already been said. There's not much like all the characters have their own like play style and how that you're meant to play them. In the end, when it comes to being too good or like people concerning a character to be too powerful is because of the way they're played, or people at that time not knowing how to properly go against that character. The only one I'd say that could be possibly changed in my view would honestly be Boo. The main reason being is that he did not, in watching Boo players like play and honestly like the impacts, compared to the other technicals of Gohan and Krillin, it did not seem like he had much impact in actual team fights. With lane control, it was great, but then when it came to team fights or the late game, Boo was underperforming in most aspects.
The only thing Boo really had going for him was his ultimate.
Yeah, but even then, that was still hard to hit, I think.
Underwhelming. His healing is very underwhelming.
I would agree with pretty much everything you guys said here. I do think that all of the characters are overall relatively well balanced. A couple adjustments I think that do need to be made, obviously, is one, I think Cooler's AoE with his second skill in retaliation should last less than it does. It does last a little bit too long. I don't mind if it does the same damage and the same effects, but just the overall duration of it I think should be a lot shorter than it is, because it generally feels like it lasts for an entire team fight off of just one skill. So I feel like that AoE skill could get a little bit less duration, and that would help make Cooler feel a little bit more balanced compared to the rest of the cast. But overall, I do think the cast is pretty relative to each other. I think at the beginning, a lot of us felt that the characters were definitely overtuned, but as we played more with them, you start to understand like, hey, this character has this counter, this character has this matchup, and stuff like that. And that is what helped us really realize, hey, this cast really isn't that bad. It's actually pretty close to each other. 18 though, definitely needs something. 18 isn't necessarily overtuned, but she does feel very annoying to fight, because there's only one character in the game who really does stop her, and that's Cooler. And because we played a lot of the game without him in the matches, you really could feel how overtuned 18 is when Cooler isn't in the match, to the point when Cooler came out, you almost had to guarantee to run him, otherwise 18 kind of just steamrolled through every team. Yeah. To add on to what Davey said about Boo too, I do think that Boo is the least powerful character out of this beta. I think he doesn't heal enough. The fact that when he levels up his healing skill, it only increases the amount of people healed, not the individual healing on them, hurts him a lot. His run-in skill is very good, but it has very niche uses where it really does struggle to shine. His base damage is very bad. His base defenses are very bad. He really just has his ultimate, which can be game-changing in a fight if you're getting a really big heal circle for your whole team, getting everybody turned into candy. but that's a very ideal scenario that doesn't always happen. So it does really hurt to see Boo's value a lot of the time. And even if he's like providing a lot of healing, sometimes you just get one shot, man. Like the healing doesn't matter if you get one shot.
Yeah, I do want one change for one character.
Yeah,
Let Boo do actions while he's healing. There you go.
Yeah. Like that's definitely another thing that hurts him a lot.
Let him be able to cancel it. There you go. My part.
Or at least don't reduce his movement speed, because he's already very easy to catch, and then he can't press his run skill, and he can't dash, and he's reduced movement speed, all these other things.
And Boo is already squishy enough. So, for example, as a Trunks player, I can just Vanish Strike and then Burst Slash, and he's dead.
Yeah.
He was gone now.
The other character I think that could definitely use some touch-up is Gohan. Gohan is very good in concept, him providing a damage up, him providing supports, and having some decent CC. But for one, you don't really see the benefits of Gohan on like the number screen where it shows you like, oh, this is how much damage you did, etc. There's no stat for like showing the damage you buff for allies or the defense you reduce or stuff like that. So I think if they added that in, maybe that would help see Gohan's value a little bit more. But a lot of the times when you look at Gohan in the game, it feels like he's just kind of like a secondary tank that buffs damage, which is very good. And I don't think he necessarily needs kit changes. I think his kit is fine, but he just needs a actual stat on the leaderboard so people are able to understand better how much of a value Gohan has. Because I see a lot of people that were just undermining Gohan in the beta because, oh, he does this X damage or this X whatever. But it's like when you really see how much damage he buffs, Gohan puts in the work, man.
I think in like a final screen, in like the final result screen, I think they should like add how much a character buffs somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say play of the game.
They already do that.
I mean, they kind of do that with MVP.
Or you mean like an actual video of
Some.
I mean, that could definitely be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
It would definitely show like major impacts in a game.
Yeah.
Like a play of the game feature, but then it'd also be confusing on how to actually implement it properly.
Yeah, we don't need that. I'm just.
Make it
All right. Let's get into something a little even more juicier than characters. I think for the high ranks of the game, I think this aspect is going to be the most important thing: divine cards.
They should add more.
I think there should be a new card type. There should be a new card type.
Not only should they add more, I think they should also explain how much it buffs.
Oh yeah.
A character, like for example Snowball.
You need to explain how much everything does.
It tells us we do more damage, but it doesn't tell us by how much. We legit had to go in and.
I do think that's part of the beta is being able to see like how generally how much it provides, and not have like a static number on it, because I think obviously when the live version comes out, the numbers are going to change around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think even for a beta, if we have a better idea of the exact number that something's at, then we have a better idea of what kind of change it needs. Because as of right now, I would say there is a massive gap in the first two red options for cards, being Snowball and Flash Lightning, compared to the second and third option, as well as the third and fourth option on the red cards for second and third slot. Because in the first option, you have Flash Lightning, which is a great early snowballer, and then you have Snowball, which is a great thing that scales in the late game. But then the other options for the red cards, it kind of just feels like they're okay. Like, you can't really tell the difference between when you have Giant Slayer or Prepare to Die. You also can't really tell the difference between Pursuer as well as the Rush Attack one, Berserker. So I think that's one thing, is that if we had like the exact numbers on stuff, it would be a lot easier to tell like what you're doing on it.
There was some exact numbers on some of them, such as Pursuer specified you get like a 7.5% energy boost damage and movement speed.
It was you get a boosted movement speed and attack, but it lasts for 7.5 seconds. It doesn't tell you how much the boost itself is.
Wait, which one?
For Pursuer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lasted. That's
Pursuer
the only thing.
Pursuer was another version of Flash of Lightning.
Like if it evolved second,
but it feels like it did less damage.
It did, for sure.
The damage values, it would never tell you what it is or think value.
Yeah.
You'd have to guess.
For the defensive cards, I think knowing how much each stack of buildup actually impacts your defense would be very useful. And also if there is a soft cap on buildup and tough skin, because it felt like there was.
Yeah.
Probably is. I feel like
Yes,
there is.
there was a soft cap in place. If you did build up and steel skin, there is a soft cap on the damage reduction that you get up to with your defense and stuff.
I think Easy Life could also use a little bit more duration on it. Currently in the beta, it lasts at 3 seconds. I think it could go up to 5.
Which I believe the soft cap is unintentional, because if you go to auto build, they that's literally what you're running is steel skin, and I think no, you go too easy. Yeah, never mind. I lied. It's too easy.
Yeah.
And for the slot 3 green cards, it was the stepping one that reduced damage from special moves and Guardian Angel. Both of them don't feel that great.
No, it was only ultimates, by the way.
Yeah, I think
you picked up
for
three
the
cards, right?
sidestepping one,
Defense
when you sidestep, rather than
defense
only
was only
reducing damage, from ults, I think for that one, what they should have done is just given you temporary damage reduction, and that one would have felt a lot better.
Yeah.
And Guardian Angel, I think, is fine as it is. It's just mainly the other cards you run with it that need an adjustment. For the slot 2 green cards, I don't remember what the other card was besides Steel Skin.
It was-
barrier.
Yeah, it was
Barrier.
Barrier is very good. I don't think Barrier needs to change. Barrier on Piccolo felt very good.
All right.
That Barrier, I don't think needs changes. Barrier is
Yeah,
pretty
the
good.
barrier is very situational, but it's also extremely good because it basically saves you from being nuked.
But
Yeah.
let's be real. If we're talking about it being good on Piccolo, it'll literally never get chosen over Boss Hunter.
That is another issue, yeah.
Uh,
But I think that Barrier could also just be good on like somebody like Trunks or 18 or Goku who are jumping into the middle of the fight. They have that barrier up because that barrier does last for like 3 seconds. It gives you a massive amount of damage reduction. So when you jump in with it, you basically take like no damage. And I think that's something useful on characters like Trunks who usually will just get one pop.
Yeah.
It's good on characters that will get jumped immediately. Maybe we should have.
Like I feel like Steel Skin is definitely more valuable on characters like Vegeta and Zamasu who are taking like
it was
multiple
only
hits.
one hit. I think it was only one hit.
No, it was.
It's
You're right.
not.
It is one
It's
hit,
damage for 3 seconds.
but it lasted 3 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could eat like a Kamehameha, and for the first 3 seconds of that Kamehameha, you're not taking damage.
Oh.
Same thing with Trunks Soul.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the other card that is kind of like that is for...
Should have ran that more.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely should have ran Steel Skin on my Assassins more than I should have ran Barrier instead of Steel Skin, because it feels like the Steel Skin really was just meant for characters like Vegeta, Cooler, Zamasu, Gohan, who are taking like multiple hits. But for characters who can't take multiple hits, like the Assassins, Goku, Piccolo, the Barrier just feels like a lot more valuable.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the controversial ones, the tech cards.
When I see someone
Tech card?
I would say a lot of the tech cards need changes. The tech
Yeah.
cards by far feel the least valuable.
Yeah. Well, Sneak Attack is kind of OP.
I think Sneak Attack, Double Vanish, both are very good. Issue being that they're both a slot 3 tech card.
Yeah.
All of the it makes sense, but it was also relatively annoying that all of the main cards that were like good on each row, other than like with damage, was on level 3 on the cards.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
when it came to like at the end, you basically had a choice between level 3 tech or level 3 green, and that was it. Because the level 3
Yeah.
damage didn't really have any impact in play.
Yeah, but level 3 green wasn't even good for anyone except Tank.
You
Yes.
could also run level 3. It depends on what you're doing, because I saw a lot of people running with like level 3 green on Gohan and Boo because of the HP value and the healing.
I
Mhm.
think the only characters that ran the green were tanks, because the level 3 were Guardian Angel and Defense Step. Defense Step.
It was tanks and supports. It was both of them.
Okay.
But nobody ran it other than them, because Guardian Angel was very good on Gohan and Boo, as well as just your tanks sometimes, depending on who they're laning with. Like if they're laning with a Piccolo, Guardian Angel's amazing. Defense stuff was also just very good for like the selfish tanks like Zamasu, where they just wanted to stay alive. That was very good for them.
Even some tanks though, like Cooler, he would run the double step because it combos with Flash of Lightning.
Yeah, and I think that's the main issue when we get to the combo part, is that the combo of red, green, blue with Flash Lightning and the Double Vanish is just way overtuned. That I think is the
Yeah.
biggest issue from the cards in the current beta. Is
I'll
that
give
was
you
by far the best combo.
Yeah,
It is
like,
the
that
best combo,
was
but it's realistically the only combo in the game.
Yeah, and other than that, the tech cards I think that we do need to touch on is Decoy feels very garbage.
I
the
never
Art of Decoy
used
card?
Decoy. I just couldn't be honest.
I mean,
Yeah, like Art of Decoy just needs to be completely reworked. That card does not feel like it does anything in the current beta.
that's the movement one, right?
That's the one where if you get obstructed, you'll get a massive movement
Yeah,
speed
you
boost.
get a movement speed
Oh,
boost, and your vanish goes down by 5 seconds, which is half because vanish is 10 seconds.
I feel like instead of it being obstructed, it should have just been whenever you're hit with CC. So if you get hit by like Cooler's AoE, or if you get hit by Krillin's blind or stuff like that, any kind of CC like that, that's when that should have procced. And if it did, then it would be good.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Fast as hell.
Then that card would have had really high value, and I think that would have put it in a good place. Other than that, it's just like Boss Hunter, man. And Boss Hunter is very good, but Boss Hunter really is just a Piccolo card, and nobody else really wants it.
Yeah, there's no reason to run Boss Hunter on really any other character. It's better.
Yeah.
But I feel like at least one character on your team should always have Boss Hunter just to help secure stuff.
I feel like Goku.
You always need to Piccolo then.
With boss on him, but it's also hard to say because Goku's Kamehameha does like 1 billion damage to anything that's.
You could throw it on Goku, you could throw it on Trunks, you could throw it on Piccolo. You just can't throw it on 18, really.
No,
Yeah.
She doesn't.
So at least one of your DPSs should have always had Boss Hunter.
Yeah, but as Trunks, you really want either Giant Slayer or Steel Skin.
And that's where the issue comes in.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get either of those two, it's one, you're either just gonna die, or two, you're not gonna do enough damage to the tank. So that's where you gotta coordinate with your other DPS to try to figure out like, hey, you go for the tank killing this game, I'll go for the boss killing, that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
That's because it kind of goes into team coordination more so. And then obviously we have the slot 1 blue cards, which are absolutely the worst cards in the game. One of them is that you get movement speed when you run away from somebody.
Yeah, no. But
And then
that was good for Gohan though. That was good for Gohan.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Gohan is always taking build up.
I feel like it would be better with other characters, but not for the characters we have now. I mean, it's probably good.
I feel like none of the characters really benefit from that compared to their other options. Like there's almost no situation where you take that over build up.
I saw a lot of the top Gohans I fought were all running their runaway one, and I saw it coming in clutch a lot.
The main reason I didn't
not
understand why.
No, because for example, if your team Gohan is going to be supporting your teammate, and if your teammate dies, you need to run away, and that's what helps. Because
Does anybody
as
even
Gohan-
remember the other blue card?
Yes, it was the God of Destruction card.
That card is actually pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, it's good for.
is
The God of
definitely a
Destruction
good-
card is very good if you're trying to push towers.
If the gods were, I would say it would be. It's a very mediocre card. It's not the greatest card, and the only reason why it's not the greatest card because towers are not very powerful in this game. That's a whole nother thing on its own.
Yeah.
To me,
After
then,
that, I think we
another
gotta really
situation with
just
Boss Hunter,
yeah.
you either, when it comes to thanks God of Destruction to get the cooldown reduction, it's another situation with Boss Hunter. You can either sacrifice your survivability, your early game damage, or you can be a tower supporter with God of Destruction. Because the cooldown reduction on using abilities with that card was really good.
Yeah, it is really good. I would say because it takes away a quarter for every ability that you do, which is amazing, by the way.
There's
I'm not
no
saying
explanation
it's
of
like
using
a
that.
card, but it is very like it's a very situational and mid card. Only reason because Zeno levels up in the game, which probably 90% of the people probably don't even know, or has never noticed. And Zeno will never reach tier 2 tower unless he's level 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Should they make leveling Zeno easier? I don't know.
No, he's fine.
It's fine the way it is.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
Zeno
farm
is-
better.
I believe also Zeno is fine where he is. Maybe make it a bit more obvious that there's a difference with level 2. Because like Fish said, most of the time I don't think anyone really noticed that Zeno was level 2. They just sort of realized
I thought
randomly that Zeno
game.
can now reach the second tower.
I thought it was
Yeah.
just the game, like it's time. Like I never realized he had levels. I think having him with a number would be more. Oh shit, he has levels.
The only notice
Yeah.
you get of him leveling up is like a little pop-up you got on the left side of the screen where Zeno, I think it was when he picked up another hammer.
Put a level 2 over his head. Put a level 2.
Yeah.
It
Then
would be easier if there
after
was 1
that,
and 2 on the map for
I
him.
think now we get into like the card combos, and I think this is one point that we can all agree on is that more of the card combos should give you cooldown reduction.
There's only
What do you mean?
A lot of the card combos do not give you any cooldown reductions, and that hurts a lot of the characters when you try to choose the different card combos. And that's a big part of why the Trinity Force
Oh,
combo,
you mean
which gave you,
Force? Okay.
yeah, which is why the Trinity Force combo was very good, is because it was one of the few good ones that gave you actual cooldown reduction. Whereas if you chose either of the other two options, they both require you to get hit, and a lot of the characters that want cooldown reduction do not want to be hit.
And that reason right there is another reason why Flash of Lightning, Steel Skin, and the Limit Break set was so good, because it not only gave that broken ass combo, it also gave Trinity Force, which reduces cooldown.
Yeah.
This is why
I feel like that was a big part of the card combos. And the other thing is just the synergy between Flash Lightning, Double Step, and Steel Skin was just very, very, very powerful. And I think that they could have nerfed that by making it to where Flash Lightning had a cooldown on it, which it does not.
This is why I want a different card type. This is what I was talking about. They should introduce white cards that don't benefit anything, actually just give you stuff.
Yeah, I think a white card that gave you like a specific stat, like let's say if you wanted attack, key attack, strike defense, blast defense, movement speed, or cooldown reduction, if they gave you a white card that just gave you a single stat, or after you get all of your cards, you can get another card that just gives you a little bit to every stat, something like that would go a long way.
So for the 4th card, you just have like, for a 4th set of cards, like at the end, once you get like your first 3 cards to Trinity Force or something, you'd have like a 4th card to then select even a further boost.
Yeah, just for stats.
It's kind of crazy when I heard that. I mean, I was just saying like white card. I don't know that, or it could be. I don't know. It would have to be. Like,
I'm not saying like a crazy like 200% damage buff or anything. I'm just saying like maybe 5% more cooldown reduction.
Because I'm like, should a white card be a placeholder card, or should a white card be able to go anywhere, like in any slot? And that's like,
I think probably just you can just choose it at the end of your 3 cards. So you have to farm an extra card, which requires you to farm more.
Oh, I see.
Which requires you to improve your efficiency with cards. So then you can choose another card, and that card doesn't affect your trio of combo cards, but it does give you like an extra stat. Like let's say you don't go for Trinity Force, so you're missing cooldown reduction, and then you choose the white card to give you cooldown reduction. So it helps you just overall get a more rounded build on your characters.
I would agree with that. It doesn't give us any combos, and it just boosts our stats, because after we get our 3 main cards, the more we kill, the more we get cards anyway. So I think it should just give stat boosts.
hard to say.
They could even take it a step further and say like because some games you pop off a lot and you can get like 5 cards. They could even take it a step further and say that you can use that extra energy to upgrade that stat card and make it to where if like instead let's say the first level is 5%, yeah, and then you make it like a level 2 and it's like a 10% cooldown reduction.
That would be cool, yeah. I wouldn't mind that.
Leveling up.
It'll
Yeah.
also give a massive amount of variety to people's builds.
Yep. Because then people aren't forced to go red, green, blue every single game if they want cooldown reduction, which every single character wants.
Yeah, because there's no other one in the game besides the two.
Yeah. Like if red, red, green had cooldown reduction on it, it would be great. Maybe they could just, instead of doing a white card, make it to where every single card gives you cooldown reduction. That is just a general thing, because the base cards don't have it, only the card combos do. Because I feel like cooldown reduction is just a general thing that everybody wants.
The only
Yeah,
two-
but like
Cooldown
obviously they have to have combos that don't have it, so you got to sacrifice something to get something better.
Yeah, but in the current version, you don't, because everybody goes for the same build.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
'cause
fair.
it does the most damage in the game.
Well,
It
obviously
gives you
they're
the most
gonna.
damage.
they're gonna be changing that. They're gonna make the some combos better, obviously, and increase the effects of them, or decrease depending on how they're feeling.
They might decrease Flash of Lightning because it is a set value.
It is 300% of your attack.
I don't think it is 300%.
It's 300.
It does set damage. Like
it's 300. Yeah.
Because if that was true, that means like every level 1 special beam cannon would one-shot people with Flash of Lightning.
That's if you dash before it and you hit them 2 seconds in between.
You can. It's very easy. I would feel.
Let's move on to the controls of the game. Do you guys feel like anything needs to be changed in the default controls, like either on controller or on mouse and keyboard, that is not currently already part of it?
I mean, I only played keyboard for like my very first game, and I saw the default controls were not it.
Default controls on keyboard are okay. I don't really care, but like I said, in keyboard, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's more of a controller question.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I feel like on mouse and keyboard, the main issue that they kind of need to change is the shift clicking. That does not feel very good. I think instead of shift clicking, they could very easily have done Q and E for the abilities. So I think instead of pressing the right mouse button for your first skill, it should be Q. And instead of pressing shift plus left click for your second skill, it should be E. And then they can keep the ultimate on spacebar, that's fine. And then they also have R for helpers, which is fine. F for dashing is fine. But the main thing that I think they don't take advantage of a lot is just being able to press your scroll wheel. I think being able to press scroll wheel could also have just been a better default control of the skill rather than having to switch it up.
That'd be cool. Okay.
There was one other control I was thinking about, I can't remember right now. The other thing that I think that they could improve with the controls is the responsiveness of it, because a lot of the times on mouse and keyboard, and I noticed this a lot because I was getting the controller bug, on mouse and keyboard, when you press the transformation button and when you press the recall button, when you press transformation and recall, the keyboard doesn't do it immediately. It takes a while for you to actually stand still and then start doing the animation or going back. However, when I was on mouse or when I was on controller, the moment I pressed the input for transforming or recalling, it would do it immediately. And I think that's something that would be very nice to improve in the final version, is have it be more responsive when you press transformation and recall on mouse and keyboard. I felt a lot of delay with that on mouse and keyboard.
Okay. Yeah.
I also didn't like the controller layout either. The controller layout, the main thing I didn't like about it is the right stick to aim felt very awkward with having to use X to dash. That part felt very awkward, and having triangle as like a secondary button, kind of like shift on mouse and keyboard, also just felt very awkward. I would have maybe rather it be like L3 rather than triangle, but that's kind of more of a preference thing where that gets into.
Okay. I mean, you worst case scenario, you can just change what your controls are.
Yeah. Now, let's get into the gameplay UI. I don't think there's much to say in terms of the gameplay UI. I think the gameplay UI for the most part is pretty good. However, I think the main thing that we do need is when you press tab, you should have timers for all the big bosses, such as 16, Ribrianne, Nappa, and Jocko. You should have a timer counting down that lane's boss every single time when you press tab, and that is just not there. You only get a 30-second heads up, and that's not enough time to really plan anything out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know if this would count as UI, but I'm gonna say it. My issue is, well, if you ever played on the phone versus on computer, when you use an ability, it will actually track the ability better, and it would go to the edge of where your ability would go. Like with Goku's Kamehameha, it would go to the edge of where it would end immediately. Like you would see where it would be going. In computer, I don't know if it was just a skill issue thing, but I just always shot blind half the time.
Yeah.
What about like if it
PC
shows like a layout or like a kind of guide where the Kamehameha is aiming?
Like Yeah, it would show a guy where it's aiming, but like on computer, if you were using the Kamehameha, or not computer, on the phone, if you used like a special beam cannon, if you charge it up all the way, it would zoom where the end of the special beam cannon was, like automatically.
Oh yeah, it didn't.
So,
It doesn't zoom out on computer. You just have to hope.
I think that would have been more in the controller section, and two, I think the reason it doesn't do that is because on PC you can very easily just use unlock camera to go to the end of it. On the phone, it's harder to do that. It's harder to like tap on the camera icon while you're aiming down a skill and then drag your camera over there. So I think that's why on PC it doesn't zoom over.
While moving your aim.
Huh?
How would you tap on the camera while moving your aim? Because every time I did, it would just like go.
You can just press Y. There's a keybind for it.
I always forgot about unlocking the camera. I just shot randomly, and it normally worked.
Yeah.
Because when
Most
your
people-
gun was
most
anyway
people
of
will
Kamehameha,
just
it
play on
basically
unlock
took up an
camera.
entire screen
I
anyway.
used instinct, bro.
Yeah. But I think that's mainly the UI stuff. Also, like the Supreme Kai should have a timer on them too. With how important they are, the fact that they don't have a timer is ridiculous.
Oh, the Supreme Kais were quite annoying.
Yeah, like we tried to time them, but like it felt very random because sometimes the Kai would be like spawn and you kill it really close to its respawn time and then it instantly respawns, but it's like we don't know when it's gonna respawn. So it's a lot of just guesstimating with that stuff that I feel like it would just be better if we just had an actual timer, like the same thing that we do in Apple, where like 30 seconds before a Kai spawns, you have the timer.
Yeah, it is a little strange that Nappa, Jocko, Ribrian, and 16 and Great Ape all have timers, but yet the thing that gives the most XP doesn't have a timer on it. So
Yeah. With Great Ape, I don't think you needed like a timer on tab necessarily, like you do with like Nappa and 16. Because Great Ape, everybody knows it spawns at a certain time in the game, 7 minutes in, I believe, or 8 minutes. I believe it's 7, and it takes 30 seconds to come out. And after that, it's just on the map.
No, it's 7 minutes. One of those two, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It's
But that's why I don't think
minute.
Ape really needs a timer. But I think Supreme Kai's and the other bosses should have more clear timers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's about it
If
for
they
gameplay
really
UI.
do, I wouldn't mind if they gave everything a timer.
Yeah.
The only thing with the
It
game,
would definitely bring more skill into the game if everything had a timer, because then there'd be more to like planning out proper team plays.
Yeah. I to the degree I would say that it brings in less skill because now you don't have to time it in your head. But again, like you said, having the timer there gives both teams an equal opportunity to play around it.
more fighting good.
Yeah. That is about it for gameplay UI. Pretty short section. Like I said, there's not much to talk about it with that. But now we're going to start to get into some of the really big stuff, beginning with towers. Fish, do you want to get us started with towers?
Give them more HP.
Towers are very interesting because early game towers, I think, have 6 bars of HP, and I think late game towers have 8. But I don't remember.
Yeah.
I would have to like.
It's something like that, yeah.
It's something around there.
In the end, I think that the towers should have more HP to the point where you can't one cycle the tower.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if you're
they-
on the tower, like the second Zeno gets there, even at level 1 without the whole team being there, you're able to one cycle that tower.
Yeah.
I think maybe just a little bit more. Like, I don't think it should take a full 2 cycles, but maybe like a cycle and a half.
Yeah, a cycle and a half. So like, I believe the first tower should have like 8 bars, and the second tower should have 10 to almost guarantee that the second tower should have at least 2 cycles.
Or the other idea I have is that rather than adding more HP to the current towers, they just add another tower at the Dragon Shell that you have to destroy before the Dragon Shell.
Not okay. I actually agree with Davey, but not only that, I think it should burst out more damage too.
Yeah, towers are not very scary in this game. They don't do enough damage. They also take a while to heal, so you can't even really sit at them because it does kill a lot of time. but I don't think the healing is as much of an issue as just the lack of damage they do. Like when I'm playing a lot of the characters, I am not scared to tower dive at all because the towers just take forever to really get going.
Yeah.
I think they just need to increase the ramp up damage on them and make them ramp up a little faster.
Like as a Trunch main, I can deal like at least a little over a bar and get out of there before I die.
Yeah.
Even if Xeno hasn't reached it.
I feel like the problem with the reason why towers aren't scary in this game is because they try to push you out when they're hitting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. If the towers didn't push you out, a lot more people would die because they'd get overconfident thinking they could beat the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely think that could be another thing. Rather than increasing tower damage, just make it where towers don't knock you back.
I still think they should increase the damage. It doesn't deal that much.
Well, I think when it gets ramped up, it does, but it's like by the time it gets ramped up, it pushes you out.
Yeah, like you're starting to like get pushed out, and then you realize maybe you should leave because how hard you getting pushed out. That's why you leave half the time is because you're almost pushed out.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about another tower at Dragon Shell?
I wouldn't mind.
Maybe not even necessarily a tower that you can destroy, but maybe just a tower that does damage to you. Just to make it to where taking the Dragon Shell is a little riskier.
Yeah, I would like a defender.
So like a tower you can't destroy, but it will just do like damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I feel like late game characters get very tanky, and it is very hard to kill them. And having a tower there would help a bit for defense, because it's very hard to defend Dragon Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zamasu, for example, Zamasu could just walk over there.
Like if there's a tank on your Dragon Shell, it's kind of over.
Like if you have one tower with 3 health bars, not even 3, 2 health bars, and you have opened the Dragon Shell, you've lost the game.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
So I think those are maybe like a couple changes with towers they can try out. Maybe they could add another tower. They could just increase their damage, or they could just add a tower that helps you defend at Dragon Shell, because Dragon Shell is way too easy to take. Transition into the mini bosses and Ape now. What changes would you guys like to see with the mini bosses and Ape that are not visual? Like I don't mean like changing like Ape to like Broly, or changing Ape to like Janemba or something like big like Cell Max. That's I think something that they can do like as a seasonal thing. But I mean more so just like actual changes to what the Ape does, how hard it is to take. Same thing with the mini bosses.
Were insanely different in difficulty.
I agree. I think
agree.
that Nappa and Jocko
16 is
are
way
a
harder to
joke compared to 16 and Ribrianne.
Yeah. 16 will straight up kill you with fucking health splash.
Yeah. And then same thing with Ribrianne. If you get hit by Ribrianne's love bomb, bam, bro, you're just dead.
Yeah.
It's even more annoying that
I also
they do
think
need to tweak it.
I think all the bosses, including Great Ape, should have more HP as well.
I agree. I think the bosses are
I
way
think
too
Great
easy to
Ape should
take.
have more HP.
I think that Great Ape should get more HP and more damage. I think Great Ape doesn't do enough damage to you right now, and it doesn't feel like you should be afraid of taking Great Ape with the enemy team there. But a lot of the times, the Great Ape doesn't do anything while the enemy team is there, because the Great Ape just doesn't fight enough.
I think Great
I
Ape
always-
should have HP and deal more damage.
Yeah.
I think as far
Also,
as
does
the
anyone
mini
know what
bosses,
the Great Ape did?
so what the Great Ape buffs are currently is that I believe it excites every Zeno in the game, and it makes him max level. Then it also gives you an extra Zeno on your team for 1 cycle.
And gives you a life bar and shortens your respawn timer if you die within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
No, what I was on about is like, I always got caught off guard fighting Ape because it does like the normal slam attacks, right? And then what does it do when it roared? Because I always got afraid when I ever see like the whole
Slows
screen
you
go
down.
red and then just nothing.
It slows
Yeah,
you
it-
down, daggers you a little bit, but it doesn't stop moves. Like if you were dashing, it would like stop you.
Like I think with
That is useful.
the mini bosses too, they kind of need to address that issue. Is it doesn't feel very scary to attack any of the bosses in the game with the enemy team present, because the bosses themselves don't usually do a lot. Like with 16, he's only scary when he's doing his self flash. When he does anything else, I don't care about him.
Yeah. I
With
think like with
Jocko,
16,
he has, like,
bully
his
him, you
little
can just
beam.
put bubble slam and just walk around him.
Jocko has his little fucking Kamehameha, but
Nice
all you
job.
have to do is press dodge and you're good.
You can literally stand in front of him and avoid it because there's a little gap too, and I feel like that gap shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Yep.
that, but he has like a one-shot beam, but it's very easy to avoid.
Mm.
So I feel like overall, just the threat of the characters that you're taking needs to be a little higher, so that what you feel like you have to do is you have to beat the enemy team before you take it.
Like I've been able to solo the bosses. You should not be able to.
You should not,
be able
yeah.
to solo the bosses.
I 100% agree with that. You should not be able to solo these bosses.
Yeah. You should always come down to a team fight.
Yeah. You should always have to do a team fight or a 2v2 before you take either the mini boss or the ape. The fact that you can take the ape while the enemy team is literally on you is stupid.
Yeah.
Because the ape is just too squishy and it doesn't do enough to you directly. Alright. Let's move on to now, I think the one that most of us are very excited to talk about. The Dragon Shell.
Please.
Oh, no, it begins.
Let Zeno stop attacking that shit. That shit is so bullshit.
It is ridiculous that Zeno can keep doing it because
Legit, you can stand across the other side of the map.
Everyone has so many
and you know-
opinions about this. It's
Yeah.
wild.
You can legit stand across the side of the map, and Zeno will forever just hammer away at it, and there's no risk to it.
To begin the conversation so we can coordinate a little bit, I think that one point that we can all agree on is that Zeno should not hit the Dragon Shell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I do think Zeno should hit the Dragon Shell, but I think this is what I had an idea of. I think he should hit the Dragon Shell, and it's the only thing that damages the Dragon Shell if you're with him.
You mean
That's a good
like,
thought.
he doesn't-
like a team fight, he'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I think
fight to
that it's a
control-
better idea. I think
like,
if
you fight to
Zeno,
control the Dragon Shell.
yeah, if Zeno is the only thing that can do damage to Dragon Shell, I think that makes sense because Shenron's like this all-powerful being. They could maybe make it to where instead of like a normal Shenron Dragon Balls, they're the Super Shenron Dragon Balls, and
Or-
that's why only Zeno can damage that shell. And you have to be in the circle with Zeno to still force your team to be there and fight for it, rather than having the enemy team be there. Maybe even take it a
Yeah,
step
definitely.
further and say
Fight
if
at
the enemy
Dragon
team is
Shell.
in that area, then Zeno doesn't do damage.
Yeah, then it makes defending possible. It makes so one character just can't go in and kill the whole thing. It makes it destroys a lot of issues a lot of people have about the Dragon Shell, but
Yeah.
I know people would disagree with it. Is probably my problem.
Your idea does solve a lot of the issues about the Dragon Shell.
I
just don't
think
know
that
how long
probably
it would
is
take.
the best
I feel like it
idea
would be
I
a
have
long
heard.
time. Maybe they would have to tweak the damage of what he does to it. But,
Yeah. Maybe like
that was
Zeno
probably-
just does a lot more so it doesn't take forever to break it.
That or he does more damage while everyone's in the circle. Which
Yeah,
is
kind of like
probably-
ramping damage. Yep.
Wow, they would fix that. But,
I think that is the best idea for Dragon Shell is to have it to where Zeno's the only one who can damage it. Only when your entire team is in the circle and there's no enemy team members, and he has ramping damage. So the longer the enemy team fails to defend, the more damage Zeno does. And the only time Zeno's damage resets is if your entire team leaves the circle.
Well, I would say if you have more control. So
Kind of like
I don't
land
know.
grab.
Kind of like a land grab because I don't know, like, would it suck? Because I feel like it would suck because based on how, like, we were talking about how weak towers are earlier, is because if let's say a Vegeta was there, because base instant heals you pretty much. Vegeta's there. Could you realistically say Vegeta would not be able to stall you long enough at a 4-man like interval?
Yeah.
Like if you were Vegeta.
I think you have a point there. It should be more like land grab where it's if you have like 4 people, the enemy team has 3, you're doing a little bit, but if you're half 4 people, the enemy team has 1, it does a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh. Fish got kicked out.
We've lost this. What?
There he is.
yeah. I don't know what happened.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Fish. We
Oh,
are
that
hitting
was-
about an hour. We've been here for an
I don't know
hour
how-
already.
I don't know how anyone feels about it, but that was like my idea about it because I feel like it takes away a lot. It does. It's like a small fix, And I mean, they would have to like, it would kind of change the game a lot, but I feel like it would change the game for a more way for better because I feel like the dragon shell is literally impossible to defend. Like I don't care who you are. Like yeah, you can defend it if you have defended. Guess what? Those people look for garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Those people were
give it-
garbage.
You can
Give it
defend
one-
the Dragon Shell, but it literally does nothing. Well, from the beta, you could defend the Dragon Shell, but you cannot stop Xeno. That was the only problem.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
the
once
other
Xeno
side
gets to the Dragon
too.
Shell, it's guaranteed broken, and someone could just walk in.
The other side is obviously
Yeah.
once the Dragon Shell is broken, I think we need to add on to that because once the Dragon Shell is broken, it kind of feels like a lost game. You can't really defend. And I think the way to really fix that is to make it to where you can't grab the Dragon Ball unless you are out of combat.
That'd be good. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. You
You
can't.
have to guarantee a team wipe in order to
I
win.
don't know if this was mentioned.
Kind
or
of?
not. I don't know if this was mentioned or not, but I think there should be two things. One, if you're defending the Dragon Shell, it should regenerate after like 30 seconds. Two, I think instead of like the Xeno idea that Fish had, I think you should only be able to attack the shell with rush attacks.
Yeah, because a lot of the time people will just save their ults and one-shot the shell, which is another thing that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The issue, which is the issue.
Yeah.
Like even it doesn't even have to be a default. It could be one ability.
I do really like Fish's idea for the shell itself, but I think once it is broken, because it's the same thing with picking up your divine cards, is in order to pick up divine cards, you have to be out of combat first. So I feel like that same concept can be applied to the Dragon Ball itself, to where you have to be considered out of combat before you can pick up the Dragon Ball. How you manage to do that is up to you. Obviously, you could have it be like 18, where she's constantly dashing and getting away before getting hit, so she's not out in combat when she picks it up. Or you could have Vegeta use his photon bomb to zone people away before he grabs it. There's a lot of ways you can go about doing it, but I feel like being able to just grab the Dragon Shell for free while having 4 people trying to stop you and there's nothing they can do, especially if you're a tank, that is a very, very annoying way to lose if you're in like a base versus base kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then let me see. Yeah, well, because with my idea, it's like I would feel like maybe games will last longer with Zeno breaking it. Because if Zeno only can break it, I mean, because I don't want 2 requirements for the Dragon Shell because that's like a lot now.
I mean, it is the game-winning thing, to be fair.
It is the game-winning thing, though. Yeah. Because I don't know, it matters how long you want Zeno to break it, or let's say rush attacks. Because I feel like a whole 4-man team.
I feel like a whole 4-man team rush attacking would break it like instantly.
Would like almost break it instantly because of Zeno buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not if you increase its HP.
Oh, you would have to increase its HP by who knows how many.
I feel like the simplest, best way to do it is to do Fish's idea for the shell and then combine our ideas for after the shell. But we'll see what they decide to go with.
Only Zeno can damage it. You have to be out of combat to pick up the ball, and then if they manage to successfully defend, after 30 seconds the shell regenerates.
Over 30 seconds. So it'll slowly regain HP and it'll take about 30 seconds for it to get to back to full.
They can make a new animation of the Grand Priest repairing it, bro.
Yeah.
Just have
why
the God of
Dragon Ball
Destruction
Wicked
pouring
looked
energy into the Dragon Shell.
Yep.
I'm pretty confident that they're gonna add like a new animation for the Dragon Shell.
I'm sure they'll do something.
Like,
because a lot of people have
this
complaints
was just
about it.
I think that is pretty much all the thoughts we should have on Dragon Shell, unless you guys have something else.
Not particularly.
Alright. Let's go ahead and finish off with one small section that we can now talk about because of the 3 million Dragon Gems that they gave us.
Increase the summon rates.
Increase the summon rates. I know
my
it's a beta. I know it's a beta. But dude, those summon rates were horrible.
That just reminded me. Okay, so with copies, with the summons, if you get if you're over the maximum amount, like fully upgraded summons, I don't know what the full upgrade is because I never got there because I was too lazy to keep summoning. But oh no, wait, it was 1,000. You had to get 1,000 stars for maximum summons, and you start earning Zen for the copy. I think.
Oh yeah,
that-
oh yeah. That's the thing. We need
That-
daily logins. Zenny
Let
permits.
Fish finish.
But,
Okay.
but that's a sign. It's a bad sign that they want Zenny as like, not a primary currency, but as a value, like a very high value currency, which is I think is bad.
I agree. Melly, finish your thought.
I was gonna say we need daily logins. We also need Zenny per match because we have to upgrade our things. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I don't mind these because talking to people in the Discord, a lot of people did have problems with the level 2 shop, and I'm sure with the full game they're going to add a level 3, level 4 characters being locked behind that. Obviously, it inspires you to play the game more, bust out that wallet. But yeah, I feel like I wouldn't mind if they got rid of the shop or level 2 shop and etc.
I think the shop level should stay because I don't believe the shop level was really the issue. I think the main issue was the Zenny itself.
Yeah.
I think if that Zenny, for one, you should get Zenny every match. That's one thing. And then two, obviously, like you said, daily login, stuff like that. I feel like maybe just like 100 Zenny, 200 Zenny daily in the shop every day. Over the course of a week, that's like 1,400 Zenny. That's pretty good. But to take it even a step further, I think the biggest problem that I had in terms of Zenny was once you get a character to 7 stars, every single bonus shard you get is worthless. You don't get any Zenny for it, you don't get any XP, you don't get any shards on any other characters. That's definitely something that needs to go. I think every character shard you get after getting somebody max, you either should not be getting any shards for them, or those shards should just get converted into shards for other characters, or they should just be Zenny.
Or they might just get rid of character shards and make it all shards.
Yeah, that's another way they can go about it. That way you can choose who you want to upgrade. That would give you a lot more freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad they gave us those 3 million because then I noticed because of that the drop rates and on top of the fact that I noticed about this copies turning into Zenny. Like it could be a sign that maybe they will do things in the future as the beta comes out, but or it could be another sign of they want Zenny as like like another purple currency, like the purples. Like don't use this a lot, which shouldn't be. It's never done in a Dragon Ball game before.
And I think that the other thing is we do need a pity system on the summons themselves so that you're not constantly like spending like 60,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 gems chasing one specific finisher or one specific costume. There needs to be some sort of pity on it to where you can like kind of like in Genshin, you can choose like a fate system where after you fail to get something like twice or 3 times, you're guaranteed to get it on your next one.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like have a shop in the game where every time you get like a legendary or something, you get a separate currency that you could then use to buy that specific costume you're looking for. Or obviously at the end of the day, they could just make it available with the dragon gems and you don't have to go through the whole gacha aspect. But if they want to keep the gacha aspect, having some sort of pity to it would be nice.
I agree with that.
I think that does wrap up about everything that we have gathered from this beta. Do you guys have any other thoughts you'd like to add?
I probably would later, but not right now.
Yeah, more descriptive skills, bro. I don't care.
Oh yeah. I think when you're looking at your character's abilities, it should tell you like what the upgrades do for your skills, like what level 2 and level 3 will do.
Yeah.
I need to know what level 1 does. I need to know what damage it does. I need to know everything about this thing. You know what's so crazy? We don't even, when it says, oh, this character transforms, if you go to the skill icon, it just says hold X to transform. There's a whole white text box, and that's just all it says. It doesn't tell you what it gives you. It doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
I agree.
We need more
It's like,
detail.
why?
Yeah, we need more details with like cards, what the cards specifically do, what the characters specifically do, or like obviously we could always get a sandbox mode, like a custom game mode where you can go in and test. But I feel like even then there's some things that you just cannot test, and you just need the specific numbers for stuff. Like for Trunks, there was a specific thing that the game tooltip tells you that's not in his data, and that's that his execute does more damage under 30% HP. Whereas if you just look at his information in game, it just said it does more damage to low HP. And I feel like that's a big difference because then you can be like, okay, they're under 30% HP. Now is when I get that extra damage.
Yeah.
You die. You have to have the tip menu open and to
Yeah.
die to Chuck's ability to know that information.
And I feel like that's just stupid. But yeah, I agree with that. Anything else?
Not that I'm aware of.
What happened to your list, Fish? I thought you had a lot more, man.
Yeah, bro.
List?
What happened?
Oh, my list, bro. My only list is like, oh yeah, the daily logins. What do people feel about guilds or /clan type thing?
All right. That is another thing that they could add. They could add like guilds and stuff to the game. Obviously, that's a full release thing. They could add guilds and clans and stuff like that, so people can kind of be in like a little chat room or a little group in the game and interact with each other through that as well, and have like clans competing and stuff on the ladder.
It would be Pete.
Like a guild, you could be.
Guild
Like, I already know how
versus
they do it
guild.
because they do it in Xenoverse already. They do it for Xenoverse.
Yeah, like, we could have like guild battles in Project Multi, and I think that would be fire.
Guild versus guild sounds amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
crazy.
But guys, I do think that pretty much sums up all the ideas that we have here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to comment below what you guys would like to see in the changes, or if you guys have any thoughts on the changes we would like to see in the comment section below. With that being said, this is your Eisen, signing out.